We actually came to the last panel. This is the most loved parts of any panels because it's like about the inspiring stories about real journeys, real obstacles, real wins. And this is the part where you hear someone's story and think, okay, I'm not alone, I can do it too. And I also want to highlight this again. So many of people speaking today started from zero. They are started like everyone. I don't know, even me started from zero. And new places, new system, new challenges, and still we are all built something meaningful. And that is very inspiring. It's proof of talent, courage, and the power of Azerbaijani woman, and not just the woman. It's the power of Azerbaijanis, I guess. And we have very interesting guests on that panel. I would like to invite them to the stage. And let's start with Dr. Nilüfer Rahimova, pharmaceutical scientist and founder of Nilseutica. Am I correct? Great. So, Dr. Adika Iqbal, the president of Azerbaijan Friendship Organization and engineer at AECOM, AECOM. And Selcan Aliyeva, founder and soul guide at Zelham, our favorite brand, and Dr. Rosa Einullah, EDD in education and founder and president of Azerbaijan Society of New England. And the most interesting part is that moderator of this last panel is a friend of mine whom we've been sharing the stage in so many big projects on television and everywhere. And it's very symbolic that here, okay, come. This is Rufat Agaev. And it's very symbolic that we've been traveling a lot. We've been hosting the Baku 2015 European Games, Torch Relay. We've been on Eurovision Song Contest. We've hosted Fifth Element on TV. And now we share the stage on the United States. Isn't it the success story?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been through a lot with Hüsniye, and I'm very lucky to share a stage with her today. It's the first time she's introducing me on stage, actually.
Really?
Because normally we stand and introduce other people.
Each other.
Each other, yeah.
Okay. So best of luck. Good luck to all of you. And the stage is yours.
Thank you, Hüsniye. Thank you. So, I know we have a lot of great minds, but not enough time, so we'll get into it, and I'll start with the questions. So, here goes. The first question. I know many of us start our careers or businesses for different reasons. Could be like financial reasons, or we got inspired by someone doing similar things. But at some point, we realize that that's not sustainable, and we need a purpose, and that purpose will drive us in this journey. And I want to ask you, each of you, at what point you realized what your purpose actually is, and what was it? What really triggered that? And I'll start with Arika.
Sure, yes. I think the moment what shaped the purpose in my life was when I first landed in South Korea as a 17-year-old girl who went to the bachelor's degree. And when I stared at the Incheon airport, I realized that, okay, there is no family, nobody to come help me. And I grew up in Sheki. It's a very small town, and never in my life I maybe visited once Baku. So it is the town where the girls are expected to get married early, to have kids. And when my parents let me go to South Korea, like everyone said, they are crazy how they can send a girl who never even been to the capital city. But my parents didn't listen to anyone, and they encouraged me. So that shaping moment for me was when I get out of that airport, that my parents' trust, I wanted to fulfill that trust, that they trusted me, and I could just curl down and cry there. But I took that courage that I am here. I will go ask for directions with my very limited English. I will figure out what courses to take. I will figure out what major to choose. So that was the moment that shaped my life, when I knew that it is the I have to figure out. So I had many different challenges later in US, joining US military or doing my PhD degree. But that moment at the Incheon airport, when I am all alone figuring out things, was that purpose in my life, that every time in my life I said, if that little scared girl could do it, I can do anything now. So that was the moment for me.
Love that. Monica, you want to go next?
Is it working? Yes.
Yes.
So for me, I grew up in a family of scientists. So for me, from like very childhood, I I heard like all these stories. So my grandpa was he was a professor, and we always had like lots of interesting people around. So they used to talk, and I remember my grandpa always used to say that you know, like there are there are many people like on this planet, but only a few will leave a mark. Like it's usually like one of like every 1,000 people who will stay in history because they left something behind them. So when I was a child, like it wasn't, I didn't understand what that meant. Like for me, it was just like very, you know, like big words, like just like my daughter now thinks when I talk like that. But when I went to study pharmacy, so I graduated from Azerbaijan Medical University as a pharmacist, and I wanted to be a pharmacist because my grandma was a pharmacist. And I knew that I didn't want to be a doctor or a dentist, so I decided to study pharmacy. And also because with the pharmacy, I could also continue scientific career. So when I graduated from Azerbaijan Medical University, I remember that I was feeling that something is missing. Like I kind of feel that I need more. I wanna learn more. There's something, there should be something more. So, and I knew that I want to study abroad. So when I went, so eventually I settled down with like in Kyoto University. I did my master, I did my PhD, and all these, you know, scientific puzzles. So for me, it feels like a child's playground to figuring out the puzzle. I have a difficult task and I have to figure it out. And uh, it continued with the science, and it continued also with Nils Utica, because when I started Nils Utica, I was thinking that you know, I'm not an entrepreneur. Like I'm not a business person. How can I make it like? But it was kind of it was an interesting challenge to take. So and I think what's kind of academic background teaches you is that there is no difficult task. Every difficult thing you can figure it out if you spend enough time and you have enough practice, enough training, you can figure it out. So I would just say that the scientific background like helped me, especially like you know when I just went from Azerbaijan, you know, to Kyoto University. Kyoto University is the second best university in Japan. It was so scary because I'm coming from a background, you know, science of Azerbaijan to Japan. So, but eventually, you know, like because we had a very you know, very supportive environment and everything. So I could figure it out. So it was difficult, but I could figure it out. So it helped me kind of be resilient. And later on, you know, when I read about like grit and perseverance, and also one of the NLP coaches touched the point about mindset growth and, fixed and growth mindset. So for me, it's just figuring out like it's a challenge, and it's like a puzzle to solve.
Challenge accepted. Rosa?
Hi. Finally, a mic that works. Well, when you think of why we do the way and the things that we do, it's important to understand where we're headed. And one of the things that I had throughout my life, I did things because I was maybe expected to. and or I was good at. For example, everybody that knows me calls me, "Oh, she's the chess girl," because I used to play chess for the national team of Azerbaijan. I took first place. I traveled a lot. I played on the South Korean national women's chess team. I played at the Olympiad. So that's the South Korean connection with Adika. But as I grew older into my late 20s, and especially towards my early 30s, I realized, where am I headed? And that was around the time that I returned from Korea, and it just so happened the pandemic happened. And then very soon after, the Second Karabakh War started. And that was also the same exact time that I started doing my doctorate. So I was thinking about what I would like to do and the legacy that I would like to leave behind. And from that perspective, I realized I want to help my homeland, even though I haven't lived there in 26 years. I've been in the U.S., but there's definitely a connection, and I also want to help my homeland, and in whatever capacity that I could. And that's how I decided to, along with many others, of course. It wasn't just me. In Boston, we opened up a nonprofit organization. We would meet up every week for 2 hours for months and months on end, trying to strategize on what to do, how to bring Azerbaijani voices in the greater Boston community. But it wasn't enough, because we are just a small community, and we're just basically talking amongst ourselves. We needed to raise our and amplify our voices, and that is how I decided to also found a magazine. I brought a couple of issues over there, but I wanted to amplify our voices. And that is also the reason to continue my why, because you can't just do one work, at least in my opinion. I couldn't just get my message across through the nonprofit organization. Yes, we do things, we do events, we do projects, but it just wasn't enough. And only when I started doing print work through the magazine, I said, oh, yes, this is actually getting the reach out. I've had so many people not just help me with some kind of positive encouragement, but also help me with the next steps that I needed to take to amplify and raise voices more. And then I realized, well, all of these platforms that I'm creating, it's not for myself, but it's for the next generation that will take over. It's not my organization, it's not my magazine. It is somebody will eventually take over it, and I'm hoping that I'm creating a platform for the next generation of people that will use the same voices that are already recognized and established in the community to help the next generation of people. And that is my why, and that is why I love what I do, and I hope to continue doing this work for a long time. Thank you.
That's great. Another question for you is this. When did you, I know other panels I think address this, but I really want to touch on that as well, because that could be very inspiring and motivating for a lot of people, because when you realize you don't fit in something, in some team or industry, it could either demotivate you and you can give up, or it could actually motivate you and you can use it as your strength. And I'm wondering, what's your example for this question? At what point you realized that you didn't fit in and you used it for your advantage?
You want to go?
Arika, you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. Many places. Like I was in South Korea, this different looking girl. Then I joined US military, male dominated field, and then engineering, grad school, everyone is male. Many times I felt like I don't fit in because I have accent, my English is not my first language. First, like initially I start to like smile more, talk less, try to fit in. But I realized that the more you shrink, you will disappear. And what you have different than other is actually is your strength. So I try to focus on asking these questions like why this intersection failing, or when I go to military, I start volunteering because they would for like it is not it is really real that they thought I was a Russian spy because of my like the accent I have, an engineer girl doing PhD. Why would she be in the military? But as they get to know me, as they know my culture, they realize that I am a normal person and I am one of them. And like I didn't try to change myself. The accent is my strength. It makes me unique. Or me being female in the male dominated environment, that's something that they see that women also can do. Like Leila Hanım mentioned, I didn't try to be like speak loud, show my strengths. I use my feminine energy to fit in, and I try to join to discussions, and they saw some uniqueness, like where I come from, all the backgrounds, all the different countries I visited. Not like you met many Americans, not like most of them don't even have passports. So that was something that I didn't fit in, I thought initially, but I realized later that that's a strength, and actually others can learn from that strength, and they will adjust based on like how I talk, try to understand my accent, or try to understand my different mindset, and actually find the strengths in that different mindset I have. And now I lead the teams, I lead the soldiers, and it was one earlier also I mentioned, that scared little girl that people thought she cannot do anything, she would fail, she would come back, but I achieved all that. And I always, like, when I lead those, I love to like focus on the silent ones, because I know that was me one day, that I would be scared that, oh, they will laugh at my accent, they will not understand what I say. I try to see their perspective. So any woman here is listening to me, I would like to say, please don't be shy. Like, action talks louder than the words. Take that step, even if, like, my first briefing in military, my voice was shaking, I was so scared, but I did it anyway. So just do it, don't be scared, don't feel like people actually appreciate you. It's in our mindset that, oh, they will laugh, but actually they take it as a bravery, that she's brave, that she's here today, she's talking to us, she's building bridges, building roads, making life better for people. So that's how I use my, like, being unique, not fitting what I thought initially, and later I realized that that was actually the strengths that I had.
Thanks for sharing. Rosa, do you want to go next?
I think I can resonate with Hadika because I don't think I ever felt normal. Even when I lived in Azerbaijan, I had a very tough time with other peers. Like I said, I was a competitive chess player all my life in the childhood. Even now, I play chess competitively. I almost made a national master title, even though I have another title. But anyway, that's a different story. But it's very difficult to make connections with my peers because I wasn't even physically present in those spaces. So when I moved to the US, that, oh, let's think, let's be more logical. I totally also lacked social skills. Let's just be honest. And that, I'm new, and they've never met somebody from Azerbaijan. Where are you from? Where are you from? I'm from Azerbaijan. Where is that? And then I would just go up into the conversation, which was great because that was the early seed for improving my social skills in the beginning, and that was also an opportunity for everybody else to learn about my country. But moving forward, when I went to high school and went to college, it became a conscious effort to make myself known in the room. And I don't know if you've heard of the saying, fake it till you make it. I don't know how good I was at faking it, but I made it, I think. And eventually I started putting myself out there, just like Azika. She said, don't be, I wasn't, well, I was afraid. I was afraid, of course, because this is something new to me. I never did this, but I was going to places, even though I would have been in the beginning like a wallpaper, just shy person standing in the corner of the room. Eventually I went to the same places over and over and over again. And then one day I'll say hi to one person, and next day, oh, how's it going? Oh, tell me something about yourself. So people started recognizing my face, and they started accepting me because I was there physically present. And do not undermine the importance of you physically being present to places, because yes, it is intimidating. Yes, if you don't have a guest or a plus one to bring with you, to be chit chatting. In fact, you shouldn't bring, because that will put you out of your element in a good way, hopefully in a positive way. It'll push you to do certain things that you're just not comfortable with. And that's my takeaway is be okay with being uncomfortable, because that is the only way to grow.
Love it. Serjan, what's your take on this?
I see where I realized to say like dominate and leadership, it's not my style. I prefer to stay more quiet, more steady, and it's not my style. and then I see it's not, I don't fit, and I reach the goal, and that's it. I just stay steady and quiet and just reach the goal. And leadership, and so it's be dominant and loud. It's not my style.
So it's basically in business. You thought that
Yeah, you can reach
to
your
fit
goal.
in, you have to be.
I built a multi-million company in Azerbaijan, and I realized that it's not my style, like dominate and being leadership. You just very important is like being steady. That's it, and resilience.
Makes sense. So
Resilience.
to lead in business as a woman, you don't really have to be
Resilience
dominant.
and steady. Yeah, that's qualities makes me strong, and that's dominate and
Love that.
I want
In
to
fact,
quickly add something. So it resonates a lot when Adika says that. So I remember in Japan, like having an accent and being a foreigner, it wasn't like something. It was actually a good thing. They embrace foreigners. They love foreign students because they learn from us. We learn from them. You know, they practice their English with us. But when I just moved to US, I remember I was obsessed. I wanted to have like American accent so that I can blend in. But later on, like like at UPenn, 90% of all scientists, of all postdocs, are foreigners, are international students. So there, when I started working there, I realized that it's not only like it's not disadvantage. So having an accent means that you also speak another language. So it means that you spend the time and effort to actually learn another language so you can communicate on that language. So right now, like I embrace my accent, and we are different. And sometimes it still does happen, especially when I talk on the phone with someone. It still does happen. But as soon as like, we go into technical details, either scientific or some technical details, usually that dissipates, that bias, dissipate. So education, science, we should promote that. Specialists.
love it. Thanks for sharing, Nilüfer. Now I want to talk about your decision-making approaches. So especially when you're building something new, there's no clear roadmap. You don't know what's the next steps, no instructions, no step-by-step guidelines, things like that. How do you make decisions when there's no clear roadmap? I'll start with Selcan this time.
I always trust to my intuition. If it's no roadmap, I just step away and just listen my intuition. And I think all of us have a guided compass inside us, and that guide us. So actually, I go with my intuition, and
Intuition.
and yeah, always. But it's very difficult to recognize when it's your brain work and intuition. You have to find this connection. I put on my brain and just connect with my intuition. And all of us has all of yes, women are unique and have this intuition, and we have to use it.
And
If
it's
it's no
important to
roadmap.
understand if it's
Of
a
course,
noise or
Of course, structure is very important, but intuition is like your soul is super important.
love that. Adika, you want to go next?
Sure, yeah. I guess I will share the personal story. Like, I usually don't go with roadmaps. I take whichever route feels right at that time. So when I graduated from my undergrad degree at KAIST in South Korea, there was scholarship in Azerbaijan at that time that supporting students to study abroad, and the university I applied was on their list. I had all the qualification. So I came to spend time in that summer with my family, and I am getting ready. I got visa, and just like 2 weeks before my departure, I get that news that they canceled that university from list and they cannot support me anymore. And like I have to figure out my tuition and everything. At that time, I still remember I had the $1,000 in my pocket. That was only money I had. I had visa on hand, and my parents were very against. They are like, you already have degree, you can get job. But growing up in Azerbaijan and as a kid, I had that American dream that I have to go, and that opportunity was so close. And I just told my parents that let me go, I will go. If it doesn't work, I will just come back. What I have to lose? But I didn't tell the truth to them that I didn't even have, like, I would spend $1,000 for my rent and other things. I wouldn't even have money to buy my return ticket. I didn't share that little secret with them. So although they were against, they were very supportive parents and they let me go. And in US, when you arrive, like, there is no furniture in the apartments. I came from airport exhausted, and I just slept on the floor that night, just staring the ceiling that, oh my gosh, I made the biggest mistake of my life. What am I even doing here? Next morning, I wake up, I am like, that Incheon moment came to the South Korea airport moment that I I walked from there, I did things, I woke up, I went to university, I talked to my professor and explained everything. And he was like so shocked that how crazy, or he thought either I am crazy or brave, I don't know. And then actually that brought me opportunity that I became teaching assistant, and like whole my tuition was waived, and they cover, that's like some thing in US that if you are teaching assistant, they waive your tuition, and then they even pay you monthly. So I took that risk. I didn't have roadmap, and as a transportation engineer, there is always detour. I feel like you don't, even if you take wrong route, you will find way to turn around or figure things differently. So I like, if you see little opportunity, I would say don't lose it. Go for it. Even if it doesn't work, you will find way, or maybe like mindset. If you know that you can do it, somehow God will give you those opportunities. You will meet right people. Those will help you out in your life. So that's something like I don't ever have roadmap, and I just follow my heart, follow my mindset.
Love it. Nilüfer.
Yeah, so I agree strongly with intuition, and also I always think that like we have to be able always to stay curious like kids, to never lose our curiosity. Like for example, I wanna like tell my example. So I started like making my own skincare when I was a master student in Japan, and at that time I wasn't thinking that I will one day will make money out of it. I was just I had like skin problems and I wanted to solve it. It's just in the process of doing that, I had so much fun. I just realized that I'm just having so much fun. It became lifelong passion for me. And so when I started Nuceutica, so I started, like it was, I also didn't have a roadmap. So I started because I strongly believed that, I wanted like my family, friends and family to have safe and effective skincare. Because when I did like comparative research analysis, it turns out that most of the things that are on the market are junk. So I started it like, like not with the marketing approach, but with a passion. And last year, I decided to take a business mentor because I was thinking that I need to trust, like experience of other people. And that business mentor, like she had like decades of, industry experience and stuff. So she decided that my messaging is wrong. I should change my messaging. She decided that which like sales channels we should go for. So I decided like to trust her instead of my intuition. It turned out to be wrong. And so 9 months in, I realized that it's not working. So I decided to kind of go back how I started. And I decided to go like with my gut and intuition. And Nuceutic is a founder-led brand. So usually what helps Nuceutica to grow is when I have like live webinars. For example, I did one live webinar about like high performance cosmeceuticals in cosmetic science. And that webinar alone like brought so many sales than I did with by working with business mentor. So I remember that, and I told myself that what I was doing was right. I just have to trust my intuition, even though like those business mentors, they have like decade of experiment. But the environment is constantly changing. The working environment, especially entrepreneurship, is constantly changing. And by staying curious, like uh, it's like treating it like a playground. So for me, like for example, it was a TikTok, and that industry, professional who had like decades of experience, she kept saying that, oh, TikTok is only for young people. But for me, when I went on TikTok and I saw what kind of creator were there, like I felt that TikTok is the right choice. But I kept trusting her. Okay, TikTok is not for me. For 9 months, I ignored TikTok. So then I decided that, and that businessman, I was paying her. It's not like she was doing it for free. I was paying her a lot.
Cosmetic is the best one.
Right. So, and then I decided like to totally switch and go again with the gut, with my intuition and the gut. And 3 months in, and we're now breaking our records, our sales records. So what I just want to say, stay curious, like always, because it will help you to stay on top of constantly changing environment. And also because and I also want to say one thing. So if you have young people in your family, like kids, I have a 10-year-old. I trust her judgment more than industry professionals because young kids, they define trends. Some trends are temporal, but some trends are, they stay. Some trends, they stay. And young people know it's best. So I trust my intuition and my 10-year-old intuition now more than industry leaders who have like decades of industry experience.
You're in the right way.
Love it. Rosa?
So when you first asked the question, I chuckled because I was thinking about the question earlier today, and I should have probably read the questions that you sent earlier, but I didn't. But anyway, spontaneity, right? So if you would have asked me about decision making maybe 5, 6 years ago, I think my answer would have been completely different from what it is now. Back in the day, I would have said, well, you need to be very logical, and I was very logical. So, for example, if there is no official representation of Azerbaijanis in Boston, let's create an organization. Nobody's printing us, let's create a magazine. However, lately, I started pursuing my own interests, which is writing, and all of the decisions that I do is based on what I want, but also in that way, I just stop thinking about the act of making a decision, because I feel like a lot of people are in their head and they are constantly thinking and rethinking and evaluating, reevaluating their decisions. And then they just end up freezing and they never get to do what they actually want to do. So, and I don't know if many of you can or any of you can relate, but I am very self judgmental. And I think, well, what if, people won't like it? What if it's not going to work? What if we're not going to be as successful? I stopped. I stopped thinking about all of those outside voices because those voices are not me. They're not in my head. They don't know what I know. They don't know what I can do. And I just stopped thinking about everything and just start doing what I am passionate about. And lately it's writing, and that's what I've been doing. So yes, intuition works for some. My logical chess thinking, analytical brain was involved many years ago, and it still is, but now I started shifting my thinking, and perhaps maturity has something to do with it. Perhaps I'm trying to do more self-care, and started pursuing my own hobbies. But I think, and it's totally normal in my opinion, to, as you mature, your decision making, your way of handling life situations will change, and I am okay with embracing it.
Love that.
I just quickly want to
I
add
think
that.
all of answers are the
Yeah.
same, yes? All about intuition.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
That's kind of trending driver in this question. Nilüfer, you wanted to add
I
something?
just want to add that usually they say that intuition is a combination of your own logic and your own like subconscious mind. So intuition is your logical thinking, but it's your way of thinking, your way of subconscious. That's why your intuition will be totally different from other people's intuition because they don't have your experience.
Intuition is number one.
Love that. Great takes on intuition. And he also said something that kind of is a good segue for my next question, is that as we mature, our point of view changes when it comes to certain things. What would you say? What belief you had before that you don't have it anymore, or you look at it differently now? Radhika, you want to start?
Sure. Yeah, something I was like, one thing I learned, and I wish I knew it early, was like, when something bad happens, I feel like it's end of world and that I have no choice and I would get so upset over. But when even better things happen after that, it taught me that that's the way it should be. I had to learn from that experience and that would prepare me for something else. Like when the scholarship plan failed, I cried for days like this is it, no way. But I actually like would have never challenged myself to teach to American undergrads. I would be probably scared, but that brought me to bigger challenges. So I think that that's one thing. Like I think different. If something bad happened, I say probably God has some much better plan for me coming up. That's why it was the way like mindset. Like I never take it personal or try to upset and stop doing everything. I challenge myself more that maybe there is other way and universe trying to tell me that I should try something else. So that's the way that changed in me, I think, by experience, by all the failures. Like nothing was perfect. I learned from all these failures.
Love it, love it.
I love it also. She said for me everything.
So Sejan thinks that you already answered on
I
behalf of her as well.
yeah, I just trust process and accept. And before I didn't do it like that. Just trust process. If something not going well, it's okay. Just trust process, and it is as it is.
And it's
Yeah,
for the better most
short
of the
version of Adika.
time. Love it. Nilüfer?
So for me, because so we used to think that the most important skill to succeed is hard skills. And growing up like in post-Soviet countries, so usually social sciences considered to be kind of not important. What important was like physics, chemistry, mathematics, and but later on, like now we know that emotional intelligence is as important because we don't live in isolated environments. We live as a society. Work environment, we have to deal with people. We have to build relationships, and emotional intelligence is about like understanding yourself, understanding your triggers, your emotions, so that you can handle high stress situations. Because when everything is well, it's a no-brainer. Everyone is happy. But when you have an obstacles, how you treat that obstacle is important. So now there's a list of books that I'm making for my 10-year-old so that she can read when she's older. And some of the book I wish I read when I was in my 20s. And one book is like, again, like one of the NLP coaches titled, it's a Mindset by Carol Dweck, where it was based on a very famous Stanford experiment with marshmallows about fixed and growth mindset. So basically, every single skill can be cultivated. But like when I grew up in post-Soviet cultures, everyone has a fixed mindset. What does it mean? It means that if something is hard, you are not smart enough. But that's not true. If something is hard, you need to have just more training. If someone is better at something, it's not because he's smarter. He just practiced more. So this is one book that I want my my kid to read when she's older. The second book is Grit by Angela Duckworth. She's a professor at UPenn. About like she's saying that talent is overrated. Talent helps to have a passion, but what helps you succeed is not a talent, but perseveres over a long period of time without getting the reward, which is also built like to growth mindset. Being able to continue even when the reward is not visible on the horizon. So, yeah.
So it works, really works.
Love that. Rosa, would you like to add anything? Or I think you covered it partially already
I
in your
just want to
previous.
mention one thing on the topic of growth, right, and maturity. The lately, as of late, so I was always a yes woman, and I think the trend of me saying yes to everything came after I watched the Jim Carrey's movie called Yes Man. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's very good. And he something bad happens in his life, and he just decides to turn it around and decides to say yes to everything. I want to do this. Yes, let's go. Yeah. Well, how about try this? Yes. So then I started being a yes woman, trying to say yes to everything. And then lately, as of late, I realized that I don't have the capacity to say yes to everything. And now I am a no woman. Hey, Rosa, do you want to do this project? No. Hey, Rosa, how about we write this article? No. Because in my mind, I started calculating the time and the effort that it takes for the realization of the project or the program. And now, yes, I do say but now I am a little bit more strategic. Do we have the money? Yes or no? Probably not, because we have other priorities that we should be focusing on. For example, do we have the staff to write the articles? Do I have the bandwidth to be doing the creative design for the magazine? Do we have any other alternatives? All of these questions, yes, they are strategic, and you may think that it's a little impersonal, but you just cannot do everything that you want, even though you want to do everything. So lately, I learned to be a no woman, even though it's not a personal remark to anything, but it's just I'm beginning to realize my own personal limitations.
Love it. Speaking of no, the organizers said no to my questions now, because now it's time for your questions for Q&A. So I already see hands. Please, we want to hear your questions for our panelists.
We always knew that to integrate into current society, we had to engage with this society. So basically, in our local institutions and social groups, we had to maybe offer a help. It could be helping doing something in the church, or in some engaging with public event, talking to local politicians, talking to your neighbors, helping them when they need it, or they don't even know that they need it. Because we knew that just walking around saying, "Oh, I'm from Azerbaijan, let me tell you about my country," nobody cares, right? But when they know you better, then they're interested, and then they are asking you a question, right? But as she just mentioned, the older we get, the more projects we have on our list, and then the less time we have for social engaging. And I was hoping maybe they could tell us each one individually what kind of project that they got engaged in their past life, saying that, oh, that was probably the best thing I ever did because it brought more interest towards Azerbaijan after that.
Love it. Thanks for saying it. Thanks so much. Any questions?
I guess
That was the question. Okay.
I can go first, I guess, if that's okay with all
Of
other
course.
panel. Yeah, I guess one thing is, I guess, food. We have a proverb in Azerbaijan, like the food is the way to men's heart, but I think it's to everyone's heart. I love taking like a potlucks or food to my like a military friends or my coworkers. That was the way. Like once they taste, it's like, oh, which country is it? I never tried this, and I don't know if that answers, like, that was the way kind of have them interest with me. Another thing is, like, I love Azerbaijan. Like, I always carry Azerbaijan with me. I started the non-profit organization, and that really made me meet so many Americans, and I would organize parties just to invite people. And that's also something I realized I have passion to meet more people, and that helps him. Like, I would take a Novruz gift to the mayor's office every Novruz holiday. Like, he wouldn't even know that there's such Azerbaijan or what is it, but once they try food, then they know I am their potential voter. They get more interest in me, and they try to learn culture. And that's something socially I do, like meeting more people. That is a fuel for my career and for meeting people and such. I don't know if others have anything to add to that.
So for me, it happened during the Second Karabakh War. So when everything was happening, I had such a strong patriotic feeling that I didn't know I had before. So, and because I was far away from my country and we couldn't do anything, I felt like hopeless, that I cannot do anything. So I joined information war that was happening in social media, and it helped me think that I'm also doing something for my country. And by doing that, I also learned like so many things that I actually didn't know. Like, for example, I knew all those UN resolutions by heart. I could like recite all those resolutions. And so we live in a university city at UPenn's University. So all of our friends are international scientists from around the world. And because like I joined that information war, I could sustain those conversations and actually provide good arguments, when they would say that, they have been Armenian lands like 1,000 years ago and stuff like that. So thanks to that, like information was happening, I felt like I also did something by educating at least people who were around me, and most of them international scientists. And also, I also realized that because Armenian lobby is very strong, so most of them knew Armenian side of the story, not Azerbaijani side of the story. So I had to tell them like the facts that they didn't know because they heard only one side of the story. Yeah, this is what my take.
Anyone else wants to answer this question? Great. Thank you for the question. Any other questions? If not, I have one more question. I know besides your skills, education, motivation, resilience, something else maybe contributes to your success too. For example, daily habits. I'm always curious about daily habits of successful people. What one daily habit you think really shapes the way you lead? Who wants to go first?
Being steady, resilience, and persistence.
But how about the habits, like daily habits?
Meditation.
Meditation?
Morning, yeah, connect with myself. Every morning is like just a few minutes, connect with my heart and start the day with that. It's very important. And I was like, mentioned before, I built from scratch, from zero in my country, like multi-million company. And it was like I had the idea, and my husband said, Seljan, you doing this business and sell home, you don't have any big finance and any knowledge. I said, no, I have just idea, I will go. And that's, my heart is always helping me. And now from here, in in United States, I start from zero again. So
Love that. Love that.
follow your heart and you reach your goal. And every door is closed. For me, it's just okay. Other one is open. Go, reach the goal. I never giving up. Because being steady inside, when you have steadiness inside, it's like you go, you just follow, move forward.
Thanks for sharing, Selcan. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I want to answer that question because it's something that we talk a lot actually. So most of our friends, we live in Westphalia, and most of our friends are scientists, biomedical scientists, and it's called kind of biohacking, and kind of improving your performance is one of the important things that every scientist is trying to do, because we I mean, everyone, but most of scientists, our job demands our brain to function properly. And so we think about how to improve our performance all the time. And I don't know if you have noticed right now, if before scientists were, slim and kind of small people, right now scientists look like bodybuilders. You know why? Because the science shows that to live a longer, healthier life and to have a sharp brain in the older age, we need high intensity training. We need protein. So my daily habits are what Andrew Huberman is preaching all the time. It's 15, 20 minutes of sunlight. The first 30 minutes when you wake up, because it helps with your dopamine and norepinephrine. High intensity workout, including high intensity workout during the day. And what does it mean? Jumping, for example, jumping during the day. I do like 2-3 minutes of a plank pose like every day. Even like before, it also helps you stay grounded. So for example, even before the panel, I went out and I was jumping in the bathroom.
Yeah, good.
So that, so that I stay grounded.
I needed this one, yeah, and workout is very important, and our nutrition in a day, how we like
so
our body.
So daily habits, like from me and also my scientist friend, 5 grams of creatine religiously every single day, and depending on your weight, is 70 to 90%, 90 gram of protein every day, because you need muscles to for healthy aging. You need for healthy brain, you need muscles. So, and without muscle, it's a protein. So without protein, there's no like
Protein,
muscle.
add creatine also, please. Add creatine.
Yeah. So.
I can go next. I think number one thing is sleep is very important for me. Sleeping early and waking up. I wake up 5:30 a.m. every morning. It's because like 2 hours. If you wake up 5:30 versus 8, believe me, it makes 6 hours difference for me. That quiet time when your mind is fresh. I would like, that's some habit, and I follow the 3 seconds habit. I know every morning we are like, should I wake up or no? Like, you should say 1, 2, 3, and okay, that your brain reacts really quick that first 3 seconds, and you do what you want to do. Just wake up and do your work. Like, because if you think longer than 3 seconds, then your brain will try to like come to like, okay, you can sleep 30 more minutes, then you end up not waking up for another hour. So wake up early, sleep early. If you have a rested mind, if you wake up fresh in quiet environment when kids are sleeping, you can catch up your daily plan, your emails, and you can plan great. You can do whatever you want to do, exercise, but everything starts with that habit of waking up early and getting things done. That's my main thing that keeps me going in my life. Yeah.
And our
Yeah.
body is like our temple. We should like save it. Like we have our soul and our body. Like it's our temple. So everyday workout, healthy lifestyle is our nutrition, food, protein is so important, and we just it's the best habit.
Yeah, I also want to add that this is also part of personal development. When you understand how your body functions, because every people there are some people who are more energetic, but that could be the habits. Some people are more energetic when they wake up. Some people are more energetic at night. This is also part of personal development, understanding yourself and how you can function better, how you can perform better. Because when you are physically strong, it's natural that you will also have higher performance, and it's also natural that you will also have enough kind of energy, not only for work but also for things that matters, building relationship, building communities, so staying grounded.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. And I want to say that it was my pleasure to sit down with this incredibly strong woman and learning about their journeys and sharing their stories. Thank you so much.
As we come close to the end of this very inspiring day for me, and I'm sure for all of you, I would like to pause and truly take in what we all created. I could connect with so many stories that we heard today. Almost with every single panelist and moderator I can connect, and I'm sure you guys could too. Today was not just a forum. Today, I think you all made a history. It was a solid stone that we put as a foundation. I know that all of you are here not by accident. You all are courageous women. You all are type of women who care about making difference, who care about self, who want to grow, who want to develop. And I would love to believe that this is what we achieved with this forum. It's not the end, because today is the beginning for something very great and exciting that I want to share with you. It is with great excitement we want to announce that Azerbaijani Women of America is launching a mentorship program today that answers the question that came up with one of our attendees. This mentorship program is a brand new program that Azerbaijani Women of America worked on. We encourage you to apply. Whether you want to be a mentor and you are feeling to guide, we really need you. Or if you would like to be a mentee, you also encouraged to apply. We will do our best to match the mentees with mentors. And this will be, I believe, something great for the community for years to come. So I would like to finish this with, even though we have to, unfortunately, we have to say some goodbyes and some thank yous. All is left is to say one more time our deepest gratitude to all of you, every single one of you, first of all, to our sponsors, to our moderators, and to speakers. And of course, to every single one who helped make this event happen. I would like to mention few people without whom probably Azerbaijani Women of America wouldn't exist, and this event probably wouldn't even happen. So who we are, board of directors. I would like to say my sincere gratitude to Azerbaijani Women of America board of directors. Günel Tagizadeh, please help me to applause. And she has been with us throughout the AWA, almost from the very, very first day. She's been next and amazing, amazing part of this organization. I would like to thank Zahra Shakhtarsinski, who's unfortunately had to take a business trip, so she couldn't be with us today, but she is also one of the very active and strong leaders of this community. I would like to say thank you to our incredible young volunteers who've been here with us. And they are here in the back. Please stand up. I want people to know our heroes. This is a group of young, future Azerbaijani American community leaders. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything. And I would like to say thank you to Husniya Hanım for accepting this task and be our host, even though she crossed Atlantic less than 48 hours ago. Believe it or not, she is with us and she took this challenge. Thank you, Husniya Hanım.